Just stalling, no one else to blame. Still can't break the chains of it all. Tell me, how do you rape a people and still pray for the fall? They say I'm tripping, but can you please tell me who to call?
Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Purple Underground YouTube channel. My name is Micah, aka CMS, aka The One, and I got with me my partner in crime.
Yeah, my name is P. Rouse, representing for the Purple Underground.
Yes, sir. And today is our hip hop Saturday segment. You know what I mean? This is one of our new segments that we wanted to bring to our YouTube channel. That's right.
Yeah.
And you know, for those who are already familiar with our YouTube channel, I would like to say we are authentic Prince fans, Purple heads, Purple family, all that. But we are also into other artists and other genres such as hip hop, rap. So, you know, we just wanted to bring something new to the channel. Feel free to check out our previous installments: Warren G, Regulate, G-Funk Era, 25th anniversary, and our second installment where I share my experience to going seeing one of my all-time favorite hip-hop artists, rap artists, the legendary MC Hammer, with a host of other hip-hop legends such as Biz Markie, Coolio, and the dynamic duo of Kid and Play. So, now, but for today's video, we wanted to do a discussion and share with you guys. It's actually, this is from like a trendy thing that has been going on for what, like the past week,
Yeah.
I think.
Uh-huh.
So rapper, producer Warren G, I guess he posted something on his IG page saying that Snoop Dogg was bigger than the late great Tupac Shakur, and you know that definitely got a lot of people roused up, got a lot of people talking.
Absolutely.
You know, you got people like Daz Dillinger, who's actually Snoop's cousin and also a member of the Dog Pound, DPG. You know, he came out and gave his 2 cents. And Young Noble from the Outlaws, which are a group, Tupac's proteges, gave his piece on what Warren G has said. And I felt like, you know, what Warren said was not totally accurate, you know. But I guess what it was, who was the bigger star between 1991 through 96? From 91 all the way up to 96. So we here at the Purple Underground for Hip Hop Saturday, we're going to chop it up about this interesting discussion.
Absolutely.
So go ahead, Pete Ross. I'm going to let you give your piece. We're just going to trade back and forth.
When I think about Snoop Dogg, right? I mean, first if we're talking about the legendary Chronic album that he had such a big part of, you know what I mean? No, let's start off with a Deep Cover, the song, right? Which is arguably probably one of the greatest hip-hop records of all time, right?
Absolutely.
Which introduced Snoop Dogg to the world.
Absolutely.
From that record, people wanted a Snoop album, but we got more than that for the next album, which was the legendary Chronic. And of course, Snoop blew up on the Chronic. You know what I mean? Like, unbelievably crazy. You know what I mean? Like, the buzz for Snoop, he probably had one of the biggest buzzes in hip-hop ever. You know what I mean? Like, as far as
Absolutely.
like people wanted an album from him and material, then Doggy Style comes out, sells 1 million in a week. You know what I mean? At the time, Snoop Dogg to me was on top of the rap game. Like Dre and Snoop had they foot, you know what I'm saying, on motherfucking stoats in the rap game. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And not only that, yo, the West Coast like totally blew up. You know what I'm saying? Tupac, you know, he had modest beginnings. You know what I'm saying? Like with Digital Underground. You know, his own solo album, Tupac Lives Now, which I think is an excellent album. I think that's a great album. It did okay, but it still didn't have that same Snoop Dogg buzz. Pac didn't have that. Like, for instance, if you take Same Song and the Deep Cover record, and you kind of, those was that, like, their introductions to the world, you know what I'm saying? Like, Snoop clearly had the bigger buzz. You know what I mean? Pac, for me, now, I've always been a Tupac fan. But, when it came to him and Snoop, who was the better lyricist, I think I like Snoop more as a lyricist. You know what I mean? Like, I love Pac as a lyricist, but I think I like Snoop more as a lyricist. You know, and then the Murder Was the Case soundtrack blew up. You know what I'm saying? Multi-platinum. You know what I mean? Then you had the Dog Food, and
The Dog Pound album. Yeah.
right, and the Dog Father, which was probably the last album that we'll be talking about in this time period. But for me, Snoop, not by much, but I feel like Snoop was the bigger artist just from the initial buzz that Snoop Dogg had. You know what I mean? Like, it was spectacular. That initial Snoop Dogg buzz was tight. That was tight. You know what I mean? And yeah, Pac, I feel like now an album like Strictly for My Niggas, I really didn't like. You know what I'm saying? I didn't like a lot of the production on it. You know what I mean? It was tracks that I liked on there, like Keep Your Head Up, I Get Around, Papa Song, the one with Ice-T and Ice Cube,
Last Words.
You know what I mean? But I didn't really, from Tupacalypse Now, which I thought was great, then Strictly for My Niggas was like, whatever. But then with Me Against the World, it was like, okay, I'm really feeling this album. And then, like, after that, when he joined Death Row,
I was going to ask, what about the, since you brought in the Dog Pound with Snoop, as far as, like, that whole affiliation, what about the Thug Life Volume 1
okay.
album?
It was just okay.
Okay.
It was just okay. And then, like, the All Eyes on Me album I thought was good. But then Machiavelli, like, was the shit. Like, that's my favorite Tupac shit right there. So, but Tupac kind of got that in the end when Snoop had it all along. You see what I'm saying? So, I go with Snoop Dogg. Not by much, but I go with Snoop Dogg. I defer to you, my brother.
All right. Well said. I guess I should have said at the beginning of this video, like, let's lay down like the actual criteria from our standpoint, as far as what determines to be the bigger artist or the bigger celebrity or whatever, or what have you. Let me start off with Snoop. First time I heard Snoop was obvious from the Deep Cover 187 song. Great song. Definitely had people like asking, who is this Snoop Doggy Dogg cat? And like you said, which that set him up perfectly for what we was about to hear on the classic the masterpiece, The Chronic, which that even blew him up even more with songs like Nothing But a G Thing, uh, Fuck with Dre Day, and Little Ghetto Boy, and just which further set him up for his debut album, which was highly anticipated. Because just like you, I remember that to this day. You know how people was waiting for that album. So Doggy Style sold 1 million copies in 1 week. Arguably, probably the biggest, most anticipated hip hop album in history. Uh, Definitely one of them. Snoop became a superstar, right? See what else? Like you said, the Murder Was the Case soundtrack. He was hot throughout 93, 94, and even in 95. The Dog Food album. And then of course the Dogfather, when Death Row they were starting to be called the Untouchable Death Row. The Dogfather was highly anticipated because we was waiting for that new Snoop Dogg album, and I thought it was a good effort. Wasn't Doggy Style, but we got a lot of mixed opinions. But Snoop, even throughout that period from the first album to the Dogfather, he did some nice collabos. He still has star status. So now Tupac. Now I did see a video where somebody who didn't really agree with everything what Warren G said, and I can't remember what the cat's name was, but he said that Tupac been big since '91 worldwide. Now I had to disagree with that because
right, yeah,
because okay, he joined Digital Underground, right? Now I didn't know who Tupac was far as hearing him rap until the same song.
Right,
which
exactly.
Mostly the world, that's who got introduced to him. Far as like if you seen the video or heard the song. Now, far as him, who I know, far as when I knew his name, when the previews for Juice came out, the trailer for it, then I heard about Tupacalypse Now, which I think Tupacalypse Now was released before Juice, like maybe 2 months before.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, but I think he was more kind of known, or no, I say this. I think he had more buzz with his acting debut than his recording debut. You know what I'm saying? And although Tupacalypse Now is a good album, Brenda's Got a Baby, was a modest hit, but he didn't reach superstar status as far as a rapper. Maybe more so with his acting, though. Now, second, I'm saying in comparison. That's all. Now, strictly for my niggas, and on top of that, just like Snoop, controversy came into play. So, the Strictly for My Niggas album, that was a little bit bigger commercially because he had 2 hit singles, I Get Around, Keep Your Head Up. And the album went platinum. So, from what I can recall, 93, Pac was one of the top rappers or rising stars at that point, but he wasn't that top guy. From what I can remember, Snoop was in 93, maybe even 94. You know what I'm saying? Now, you going into 95, Biggie was, to me, from what I can recall, was that guy. You know what I'm saying? With the success of Ready to Die and everything. But I still feel like Pac had celebrity status because he did Poetic Justice, co-star with Janet Jackson. And so with that, and then he's and then, he was in the news, getting into all kinds of trouble with the
Right.
law. So that brought in controversy. His name's in the papers and things like that. And again, I feel like his star was still rising. And then of course, when he had to go to prison in late '94, and
Mm-hmm.
then '95, Me Against the World came out. First artist who was incarcerated to have a #1 album. You know, again, Pac star kept rising and things like that. Also he did the movie Above the Rim, his third film. Then when he got signed to Death Row, it was like a rap. Like far as like in the rap game with that label. I mean, it was already a powerhouse label, but Pac was just another piece that was just gonna really make that label even more. It was just they were like almost like the Avengers, you know. And All Eyes on Me, first rap uh, double album by an actual solo artist, just went crazy, like just sold crazy numbers. So I would say for me, '96, I felt like Pac when he came to Death Row. I think he was the #1 guy, and that kind of overshadowed Snoop a little bit. Like I remember in the interview, Snoop was saying like he was like the Michael Jordan of rap, and Pac was like Scottie Pippen. Now, I mean, Scottie Pippen was a great basketball player, like far as using that basketball analogy, but Pac might have felt like, hey, I'm not no sidekick. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Like for me, I'm on the fence with it, man, because Pac was he. I mean, he had pretty much high celebrity status from '92 all the way up to '96.
I,
So,
I think of it more like this. From the time Snoop came out till Pac came to Death Row, Snoop
mm,
clearly was the bigger star. Clearly. Like, there's no doubt for me. You know what I'm saying? Pac's stint on Death Row, as great as it
right.
was, Pac didn't change the game, man. Snoop changed the game. Snoop changed the game.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
So who do you think was more influential between the two?
It
See,
depends
I
on
think
what
Pac
front.
would.
It depends on what front you talk about because a lot of people took that smooth rap style Snoop had would have or got. You know what I'm saying? And they were using that. You know what I'm saying? Pac, with the thug life shit. You know what I'm saying? He probably was like more influential on a different front. You know what I mean? Um,
Right, like the image, like he had that element, you know,
right,
'cause he
right,
wasn't the first rapper to sport the bald head, but he
right,
was one of them. But far as the whole tattoos and claiming that thug
right.
element, I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
he owned that.
yeah. But the shit Snoop.
And
Go ahead.
yeah, and I felt like that's something that's been highly influential, in the last 20 something years. And I think Pac had the social commentary. Um, I think he had that over Snoop to where people connected with him more, because he was a little bit more. It was more passionate. He just more of a passionate type rapper.
Right, but he wasn't the only passionate rapper then.
No, I'm not saying
You know
he
what
was
I'm
the
saying?
only
Like between
one,
him and
but
Snoop, maybe, but
hmm
but styles like Snoop's style influenced the game to where motherfuckers like the Brat. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Certain rappers on the West Coast, everybody was like mimicking their style. You know what I mean?
Well, that's true, but I can even say that even after Pac died, a lot of people was kind of taking his style or
But we
biting
ain't
it
talking
a
about
little
after
bit.
Pac died. We talking about between the times they came out and Pac died. We ain't talking about after Pac died.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah,
I
we
mean,
ain't talking about
I definitely see what you're saying from that period, from 91,
right.
92,
Because
whatever,
if we're
all the way to
talking
96.
after Pac died, Snoop clearly got the longevity and the superstar status. Clearly, if we talking after Pac died.
Yeah, but see, I think Pac was a superstar when he was here, though.
I mean, he was a superstar. I just don't think he was bigger than Snoop at the time when they reigned together. You know what I mean? Like I said, up until Pac joined Death Row, I feel like Snoop was the bigger star.
I can almost agree with that.
When
I
Pac
can
joined
almost
Death
agree with
Row,
that. Yes,
you're right. It was a rap. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But Snoop had more years as a bigger superstar than Pac. To me, in that time span.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I'm still on the fence. Who was the bigger star?
I mean, the
but
thing
you
is,
but you do make some good points.
It's all objectional. You know what I'm saying? Like,
absolutely.
You know, it's all debatable. You know what I'm saying? What it boiled down to is like who you like the most. That's what it really boiled down to for anybody.
Right.
Like, you know, and I think I like Snoop more than Tupac.
Well, I gotta give the edge to Pac as far as who I like more. But I got Snoop on my Mount Rushmore as far as favorite hip hop artists. He's easily on my Mount Rushmore.
Absolutely.
I love Snoop.
So, what do y'all think, people? Who was the bigger star?
From 1991 through 1996, was it Snoop Dogg or was it
Tupac? Holla at us. Let us know.
Late great.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? This is our segment. Our Hip Hop Saturday segment. And we're gonna keep dropping some of these videos. You know, we're gonna probably come back with an album review next week.
Which is gonna be we might as well tell them what it's gonna be now.
Okay. Well,
Run DMC's self-titled album.
Yeah, from 1984.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
until then, we're gonna keep dropping some more videos, Prince related stuff and other music. Till then, peace.
Peace.